I want to read to y'all what an NBA source just sent me. He said, Jaylen Brown, it's not so much that he's underrated, it's that he's just not liked because of his, quote, I am better than you attitude. He knows it. It's the same reason he is not as marketable as he should be. That's what an NBA source just sent me. I don't know that to be the case. I like Jaylen Brown. I know a lot of people that like Jaylen Brown. But, again, when you think about marketability, that's what that person was alluding to.
Okay, that clip was of Stephen A. last Friday on First Take, obviously making the rounds on social media. It got the attention of friend of the show, Hall of Famer Isiah Thomas, who posted on X, Twitter, I've been a mentor, friend, and advisor to Jaylen Brown since he was a student at UC Berkeley. He is 100% marketable. And before you slander his name, Stephen A., tell your source to put their name on it or don't speak on it. Let it be known. In addition to Thomas, Jaylen Brown also took to Twitter saying simply, state your source. S.A., you responded on social media, but we wanted to give you the opportunity to say your piece here as well.
Well, first of all, a couple of things. As was the case with Draymond Green, it's the same or similar with Isiah Thomas. I love these brothers. Draymond Green is a younger brother. Isiah Thomas, obviously, is an older individual. Shay, somebody that I've known for over 30 years. My only disappointment is that Isiah Thomas calls or texts me all the time. I saw that on X. Never heard a word from him until I saw it on X. So that was disappointing. The other thing that was disappointing is what he said in terms of state your source or don't speak on it. Respectfully, Isiah Thomas, you've been a source to a lot of people over the years, and your name was never said. So why would you ask me to name a source now? So let's get that out the way. As it pertains to Jaylen Brown, I would like to say to America, before I get into it any further, they play these little clips on you because that's what social media does. And they don't play the whole thing, and they don't contextualize it properly, as you and I both know, Shay. So before I go any further, could y'all please play what I continue to say about Jaylen Brown, that same segment? He might be one of the most underrated stars in the game, Big Perk, and I'm certainly not going to disagree with you with that. The brother can ball. When he got over $300 million, we didn't sneeze at that because we know he got the talent to back it up. We saw him perform in the NBA Finals. He ain't got time for foolishness in games. He don't tolerate fools very easily. He's one of those dudes, and sometimes that can be interpreted as you not being like, well, damn it, if you're a fool, he ain't the person that you want to be around because he's a serious brother and he's got deep thoughts on his mind and what have you. And that old soul that you come in when your best friend is your granddad and he's talking to you about real life, some of the things he endured and experienced and what have you. And that's what you wear on your sleeve every day, and then you go out and you compete, particularly in Boston. I love Boston and all that stuff, but from an historical perspective, there's a lot that comes with that as well. We can't ignore that. I understand it. That's what I said, Jaylen Brown, in case you're watching. Let me speak very, very plain as to what I was saying. Jaylen Brown is a star in this league. I voted him for one of the All-NBA teams. I have a vote. He was on my third team All-NBA. So let's get that out the way. Secondly, I've been on this show for 12 years. You can't find a negative word I've said about this brother. He is a gifted athlete. He is a star. He's a good dude. He's socially conscientious. He was on the front lines through the whole social justice movement. He spoke out on a lot of things. He got his new $300 million contract. I pointed out his philanthropy within the community and how he wanted to galvanize the Boston community to help the desolate and the disenfranchised. This dude is a magnificent, magnificent brother. Isiah Thomas has heard me say this before. Jaylen Brown has heard me say this before. I don't know why this was made up into something bigger than what it was. I've been nothing but complimentary about him. I'm going to continue to do that. I pointed out what I pointed out because when you are conscientious, Shannon, when you are somebody that speaks your mind and speak on behalf of others, sometimes that doesn't make you marketable because people want to hold that against you. As black men, we've pointed this out on many, many occasions, how those of us who are socially conscientious, that have an activist soul, that is willing to fight for the underprivileged and beyond, like Jaylen Brown does, might have contributed to him being disliked. Isiah Thomas is one of those people. You know how much great things that Isiah Thomas has done in this world from an activist standpoint? Do you know that Isiah Thomas is largely responsible for the diversity that exists within the media? Because when he was the president of the Players Association, he was the one that fought with the league to make sure that blacks got to cover the NBA. Isiah Thomas has always had an activist soul. How could you suddenly not understand where I was coming from? And if you didn't understand it, why didn't you call me? So the last part I want to say is this, Shannon, because it's very important. I want to hand this to you because I want you to comment about this. Ladies and gentlemen, you got a lot of people with their podcasts, especially people like yourself with the 3+ million followers. My brother, keep doing your thing.
Appreciate you, bro.
Right? Let's understand something. You got people out there talking basketball. I cover it. I have been a reporter for 30 years covering the NBA. When I called the league about Russell Westbrook, I didn't call him to get suspended. I called to find out why, because our show was leading into the game, and the network asked me to call to find out the details. You talked the game. I covered the game. I have sources in every single locker room, in every single front office in the NBA. You don't have to believe it. It's a matter of fact. But in the end, please understand something about me. I don't want enemies. I got love for people. I'm a very happy individual, as you well know. I'm living a good life. Life has treated me very, very well a whole bit. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to be anybody's enemy, but I am not here to be your friend. I have a job to do, and I'm going to do my job. And if somebody that I trust, that is a source that I've known for decades, texts me and gives me a perspective on Jaylen Brown that I find other people are saying it, it's nothing wrong with me highlighting it. I didn't agree with it, but I pointed out that it's being said. We don't have Thanksgiving dinner together. We ain't exchanging Christmas gifts together. If people don't want to talk to me, don't talk to me. I'm still going to do my job. That's the way it's going to be, and that is the way it is going to stay. I say that respectfully, Shannon, because I don't want nobody to think I'm trying to be enemies. I'm not trying to dismiss anybody. I pride myself on being fair, being humane, but I'm professional. I'm going to do my job. I don't owe anybody not to do my job. That's not what ESPN hired me to do. Go ahead, Shannon.
First of all, if you're in the business and you cover sports, you cover government, or you cover anything, you reveal your source one time, you're going to be out of business. Isiah knows that. Jaylen Brown knows that. Everybody that's around the sports, if you reveal your source one time, you're no longer going to have a job because no one will ever talk to you again. Second of all, because you're one of the great players in the NBA, because you have one of the great contracts in the NBA, that doesn't mean everybody is marketable. Everybody in the history of the NBA or a sporting event, just because they were great at something, doesn't mean they're marketable, and that's okay. I love what Jaylen Brown does. The way he tries to highlight issues that's going on in the black community, be it finances, be it the social justice, no matter the case. And you have to weigh that when you take a stand, understand that there might be blowback or consequences that come along with your actions. It seems to me that Jaylen Brown is okay because he seems to believe that he has a higher calling and a higher purpose. I agree with it. But we've got to stop this notion because, well, he's one of the best players, he's got to be marketable. That doesn't necessarily mean it to be true. I agree with you, Stephen A. I wish Isiah had called you. I know Isiah very well. He and I have always had a great relationship. But I don't, and sometimes, Stephen A., we do things and we don't think about it at the time. It's just like, I just want to go ahead and put this out there when we could have I could have called and said, somebody said, bro, this is what I'm thinking when I said this, blah, blah, blah. But it didn't happen. But, man, we got to stop being so upset at everything. We have jobs to do on television, and that means you're doing a great job. Because if you love everything that I say, you love everything that this man say, that means we're not doing our job. And what we're trying to do is appease people. What we're trying to do is give you our honest opinion. And it's probably going to be different than some of you guys' opinion on some topics. That's okay. When did we always have to agree with everything? Just because Stephen A. is black and I'm black, I don't have to agree with everything that he says. He doesn't have to agree with everything that I say. You don't have to agree with everything that we say. That's okay. Jaylen Brown is great. He is a great player. I love what he's doing on and off the court.
You know, when you had, when people were coming at you a few months ago, you made a very profound point that I make sure to echo time and time and time again. When you interviewed Cat Williams, it was like your 1,002nd show or something like that. I believe that's what you said. You never heard anything until the Cat Williams interview. So all of a sudden, it's successful and it's boom. Here come the floodgates. First Take, in a time when linear television is
not what it once was.
Not what it once was, whatever. First Take's been #1 for 12 consecutive years. First Take is up 23 consecutive months. Okay, First Take is doing what it does. So I get text messages and people are like, that ain't been a part of this, that didn't help us get here. Oh, Stephen A., you got a responsibility to do this. Stephen A., you got a responsibility to do that, blah, 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 blah. And then they act like they're the only person that's talking. Right. When there's a potpourri of other individuals, same ethnicity, same circles, et cetera, et cetera. No, they got a totally different opinion. And they're probably saying, well, you got to say this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, I have a job to do. And here's my point. Shannon, there's because you got players out there that can't stand me, don't like me, whatever. I got far more players that got love for me, and I'm cool with it, and it's fine. Yes. Those who don't like me, trust me, I don't lose any sleep over it. I'm not going to miss you either. But that doesn't mean I hate you or anything like that. When I got this stuff and the stuff with Draymond Green, I love Draymond Green, man. Yeah. We have a disagreement, but Draymond Green is a good brother. I think he was wrong, but he's a good brother. He's always going to be a good brother. He ever needs me, I'm going to be there. Isiah Thomas has been my big brother for years. I got mad love for him. Nothing's going to change that. But you just find yourself watching these people, and you sit in the culture that has changed, that has shifted everything in this industry. You got folks out there just talking. It could be for clickbait. It could be because they just hating on somebody. I'm like, what about the facts? What about the facts? When Steven Jackson said something about me weeks ago, where are your facts? Your facts were wrong. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything about him, but personally, your facts were wrong. In the end, I have a job to do. I'm going to do my job. I don't want enemies. I don't hate anybody. I don't want anybody to hate me, but it is what it is. Right. I'm going to do my job, and I don't give a damn what anybody says about it, because I've been at this industry for a long time, and knock on wood, I've been on top for a while, right, and I'm on top now. How long that's going to last remains to be seen, but I'm on top for a reason, because in 30 years, Shannon, and I say this to you as my brother, to your face, you can hear a lot of things about me. You know what you ain't going to hear about me? Stephen A. betrayed the source. Right. Stephen A. lied. Stephen A. said we said something off the record, and he went and said it on the record, right, and violate these tenets. Right. I have never, ever done it in my career. I am entitled to cover the sport the way the sport's being covered, and I think a legitimate argument can be made. I've done a damn good job of it. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in the seat that I'm in. I stand on what I stand on. It is what it is.
Maybe you need a dog.
No! You got too many. What, you want to give me one of yours? You got about 5 of them.
I'm about to get some more.
Really?
Yeah, I lose friends, I get dogs.